Okay, so these are the first three conditions of determining significant figures. We can look at, there are two more conditions which we can look at. So we have condition number 4, and it says that all trailing zeros, we're going to look at the meaning of trailing zeros in a decimal number are significant. Now what I mean in this case by trailing means that you come after, something that comes after another. That is what I mean when I talk about trailing. So for example, we can have numbers such as, if I have 72.420, and I also have 24.500, then I also have 0.5420,700. And I'm required to find how many significant figures are there in these three numbers. So I'm going to start with the first one, 72.420. How many significant figures do we have? Already 7, 2, 4, and 2 are significant because condition 1 was telling us that every non-zero digit is significant. So already I have 4 significant figures. Now how about the last 0? Remember the condition before tells us that all trailing zeros, and we say that trailing means something which comes after another. So when the zeros are at the end, they are considered to be significant. Whereas in condition 3 we saw that when the zeros are at the beginning, they are said not to be significant. Whereas when the zeros are at the end, we say that those zeros are significant. So when I'm counting the number of significant figures in this case, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The 0 in this case is also significant. So here I have 5 significant figures. We say SFS means significant figures. I proceed to the next one, 24.500. Of course, the 2, 4, and the 5 are significant based on condition 1, which was saying all non-zero digits are significant. Now how about these other 2 zeros? Already the condition 4 tells us all trailing zeros, in other words, all the zeros that come at the end. But that applies when you're dealing with decimal numbers. We're also going to look at an instance where it is not a decimal number. So we have 24.500. When you look at these zeros, they are at the very end. So meaning these other 2 zeros are also significant based on condition 4. So when I'm counting the number of significant figures, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are 5 significant figures. Lastly, I have this one, and I'm required to find how many significant figures do I have. Now already 5, 4, 2, and 7 are significant based on condition 1. Now how about this 0? When we looked at condition 2, we say all zeros which are between any 2 non-zero digits are said to be significant. In other words, when a 0 is between 2 non-zero digits, that 0 is significant. So maybe this 0 is significant. How about these last 2 zeros? These last 2 zeros are also significant based on the condition which we have here. Then how about the 0 at the start? When we go back to condition 3, which was saying that all leading zeros, in other words, the zeros which are at the start, are said to be not significant. So maybe this 0 is not significant, but this 0 is significant, even these 2 other zeros are significant. So when I'm looking for the number of significant figures, I'm going to start with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here I have 7 significant figures. So that is condition 4. Now, lastly, condition 5. We have condition 5. and it is somehow similar to condition 4. It says all trailing zeros in a number without a decimal point, or I can decide to call that number without a decimal point to be a whole number. So all trailing zeros in a whole number or a number without a decimal point are considered to be insignificant. Insignificant is the opposite of significant. So when I say insignificant, I mean not significant. So all the trailing zeros in a whole number are considered to be insignificant. So what do I mean? If I have numbers, for example, this time we're dealing with whole numbers. In other words, numbers without decimal places. So if I have 42,520, then if I also have 250, and if I have 70, and lastly if I have 2,500. So in all these numbers, I'm required to find all these are separate numbers. This is maybe 1, this is 2, this is 3, and then this is 4. So in all these 4 numbers, I'm required to find the number of significant figures I have in this case. Now, basing on this condition, all trailing zeros, in other words, the zeros which come at the end of a whole number are said to be insignificant or not significant. So when I look at this number, I have a 0 at the end. And basing on this condition, this 0 is not significant. This 0 can only be significant if there was a decimal point here maybe. But since this is a whole number, and we say that all trailing zeros in a whole number are not significant, meaning this 0 is also not significant. So the number of significant figures I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. The 0 is not significant. So here I have 4 significant figures. I come to Roman 2. I look at the 0 here. This 0 is not significant, so meaning I have only 2 and 5. Those are the only significant figures. So I have only 2 significant figures in this case. The Roman 3, 70. The 0, since it is at the end, it is not significant. So I have only 1 significant figure, which is 7. Then lastly, 12,500. These 2 zeros, since they are at the end, they are not significant. Meaning I only have 1 to 5 as my significant numbers, basing on condition 1, because condition 1 was telling us that all non-zero digits are significant. So here I have 3 significant figures. So we have looked at the conditions considered when we are looking at significant figures. We looked at condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, condition 4. And now condition 5, we have given the various examples. So now we're going to look at practical examples. How do you apply these conditions?